The greatest minds in history, from Marcus Aurelius to Steve Jobs, shared a single powerful secret that transformed not just how they lived, but how they conquered their fears, made decisions, and found meaning in every single day. This secret isn't found in any self-help book. It wasn't discovered by modern psychology. It's an ancient wisdom that has guided emperors, philosophers, and visionaries for over 2,000 years. Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. Now, before you click away thinking this is morbid, stay with me, because this ancient practice isn't about dwelling on death. It's about awakening to life. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning, and you discover you have exactly 1 year left to live. 1 year, 365 days. What changes in your life in that very moment? Will you still worry about that embarrassing thing you said 3 weeks ago? Do you still postpone telling someone you love them? Do you still spend your evenings scrolling mindlessly through social media, numbing yourself to the precious hours slipping away? Of course not. Suddenly, every moment becomes sacred. Every relationship becomes precious. Every experience becomes vivid and alive. This is the power of Memento Mori. It doesn't remind us of death to make us despair. It reminds us of death to make us truly live. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 34-year-old marketing executive I heard about. She worked 70-hour weeks, climbed the corporate ladder, earned 6 figures, and felt completely empty inside. She had dreams of writing a novel, traveling to Japan, learning to paint, but there was always next year, always tomorrow. Then her father had a heart attack. Sitting in that hospital waiting room, watching the numbers on the monitor, she experienced her own Memento Mori moment. Not her death, but the vivid realization that time doesn't wait for anyone. 6 months later, Sarah had quit her job, published her first short story, and was teaching English in Tokyo. When I asked her what changed, she said, "I realized I was living like I had forever, but planning like I had no time at all." The Stoic philosophers understood this profound truth. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, would wake each morning and remind himself that this could be his last day. In his private journal, he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." But here's what's remarkable. Marcus wasn't a morbid man. He was one of the most accomplished leaders in history. He practiced memento mori, not from a place of fear, but from a place of liberation. When you truly understand that your time is limited, you stop living for the approval of others. You stop postponing your dreams. You stop accepting mediocrity as your standard. Steve Jobs discovered this same truth in a different way. At age 17, he read this quote, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." He looked in the mirror every morning and asked himself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? Years later, facing his own mortality with cancer, he shared this wisdom in his Stanford speech. "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart." In ancient Rome, when a victorious general returned from battle, he would parade through the streets in triumph. Crowds would cheer, flowers would be thrown, and for that moment, he was treated like a god. But Rome had a brilliant tradition. Behind the general, a slave would whisper in his ear throughout the entire parade. Memento Mori. Remember, you are mortal. Remember, you will die. Why? Because power, success, and praise can intoxicate us. They can make us forget our humanity, our limitations, our precious mortality. The Romans understood that the moment we believe we're invincible, we stop being truly alive. The 3 transformations. When you embrace Memento Mori, really embrace it. 3 profound transformations occur. First, clarity of priority. The trivial falls away. The essential becomes crystal clear. You stop saying yes to things that don't matter and start saying no to everything that doesn't align with your deepest values. Think about Maria, a mother of 2, who realized she was spending more time organizing her closet than playing with her children. Her Memento Mori moment came when her 5-year-old asked, "Mommy, why are clothes more important than me?" That question changed everything. Second, courage over comfort. Fear loses its grip when you realize that the greatest risk is not in failing. It's in never trying at all. Death makes cowards of us when we ignore it, but heroes when we face it. Consider James, a 45-year-old accountant who dreamed of opening a small cafe. For 15 years, he made excuses. Then his best friend died suddenly of a heart attack at 47. At the funeral, James made a promise. 6 months later, James's Corner Cafe opened its doors. He told me, "I realized the only real failure was dying with my music still inside me." Third, gratitude for the present. This very moment, right now, as you listen to these words, will never come again. This breath, this heartbeat, this opportunity to grow and connect and love, it's unrepeatable. Memento Mori transforms ordinary moments into miracles. I once met an elderly man named Robert at a park. He was 89, feeding pigeons with the biggest smile I'd ever seen. When I asked him his secret to happiness, he said, "Son, when you realize every sunrise is a gift, every conversation is precious, and every meal might be your last, you stop taking anything for granted." I've been practicing dying for 40 years, and it's taught me how to live. Here's how you can begin practicing this ancient secret today. Each morning, before you check your phone or dive into your routine, spend 60 seconds contemplating this truth. Today could be your last day. Not from a place of anxiety, but from a place of appreciation. Ask yourself, if this were my final day, what would truly matter? What would I say? What would I do? How would I show up? Then live that day with intention. Let me share one final story. There's a tradition in some monasteries where monks dig their own graves and sit beside them each day to meditate. Sounds morbid? It's actually liberating. Brother Thomas, a monk I met, told me, "When I sit beside my grave, I don't think about death. I think about life. I think about how precious this moment is, how beautiful the sunrise looks, how grateful I am for another day to serve and love." It's the most life-affirming practice I know.